Come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on now. Let's go, let's go. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I got my bow tie. I got my bow tie, even though it's cold outside. Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. Right now I'm reading the NLT version. It's very, very easy to understand. I like, I mean, NIV is pretty good too. I mean, it's up to you, you know. But NLT is like our language right now. So I've been just reading that lately. It's been pretty good, dude. But yeah, come on, somebody, let's go. What's up? What's up, Thomas? How's it going, Thomas? My glasses are all messed up. There we go. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. What's up, Thomas? Hey, oh. Wait for some more people to go in here, and then I'm gonna start reading the 2kings, chapter 3, in the NLT version. We're gonna be reading that. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. What kind of white soils? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely foggy up here. Oh, there we go. Super foggy, dude. Come on. Where's everybody at, bro? What's everybody doing right now? Oh, we got some more people coming on. What's up? How's it going? Hey, yo. Oh, I got this one. We can use this. Let's try this one. Yo, you love the tats. Thank you, Bubba. Appreciate you, Bubba. Thank you so much, Bubba. Hello, hello. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bubba. Why won't this foggy stuff come off my glasses? Yeah, thank you, Chicken Nugget. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Tell me something that I don't know. Come on, somebody, what's up? Are you okay? How many tattoos do I have? I have no idea how many tattoos I have. I have a lot. A lot of tattoos, yeah. Tons of tattoos. So many, dude. I don't keep track, dude. You know what I mean? Why would I keep track? You know what I'm saying? When I stop counting, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, that's a good question, but I don't even know. Yeah. What's up? Don't listen to the trolls. You're so funny. Thank you so much. Yes. What's up? What's up? Yeah. Hey, everybody's coming in here. What's up? We're gonna be reading 2kings chapter 3 and the NLT version. Yeah, so we're beginning that. I can't wait to read first or 2kings. Sorry, 2kings chapter 3 in the NLT version. Mm-hmm. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Yo, what's up? Yeah. That's demonic for a show. That's crazy. What's up? What's up, Kansas in the house? What's up, Kansas? Hey, yo, Kansas. You love the tiny hat culture? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. I used to have a lot of piercings, but not anymore. I had like so many piercings, like a lot. What's up, Ireland, dude? Ireland's in the house. What's up, dude? Hey, yeah. What's up, Ireland? I've never been there yet before. I haven't been in Ireland yet. No. Like the shoes? Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got a bunch of hanging on the walls right here. What's up? Let's put it like this. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, there we go. How can I eat like this? Orange County, brother. Yeah, sobriety works for sure. Absolutely. Come on. I talk about all the celebrities on my old podcast, and they're all on my videos. Check out my channel. If you check out my channel, you can see all the videos of all the old time stories. Yeah. Psalms 29 is my favorite. Yeah, I love Psalms 29. Yes, Psalms 29. Let's go. Yes. Yes, I'm a clown. Can't you see my bow tie and my beautiful clown nose? Beep, beep, beep. You guys are funny. Thank you for liking my shoes. Peace and love. Thank you so much. Thank you. There's so many comments now. What's up? Yeah. What's up? How's it going? Thank you for liking my tattoos. Appreciate you. Peace and love. Thank you so much. All right, well, I'm going to get into 2kings. Let's go. Let's get into 2kings right here. All right. They carried off silver and gold and clothing and hid it. Finally, they said to each other, this is not right. This is a day of good news, and we aren't sharing it with anyone. If we wait until morning, some calamity will certainly fall upon us. Come on, let's go back and tell the people at the palace. So they went back to the city and told the great keepers what had happened. We went out to the Aramean camp. They said, and no one was there. The horses and donkeys were tethered, and the tents were all in order, but there wasn't a single person around. Then the gatekeepers shouted the news to the people in the palace. Israel's plunders the camp. Come on, Jesus, let's go. Yes. The king got out of bed in the middle of the night and told his officers, I know what has happened. The Armenians know we are starving, so they have left their camp and have hidden in the fields. They are expecting us to leave the city, and then they will take us alive and capture this city. One of his officers replied, we had better send out scouts to check into this. Let them take 5 of the remaining horses. If something happens to them, it will be no worse than if they stay here and die with the rest of us. So 2 chariots with horses were prepared, and the king sent out scouts to see what had happened to the Armenian army. They went all the way to the Jordan River, following a trail of clothing and equipment that the Armenians had thrown away in their mad rush to escape. The scouts returned and told the king about it. Then the people of Samaria rushed out and plundered the Armenian camp. So it was true that 6 quarts of choice flour were sold that day for 1 piece of silver, and 12 quarts of barley grain were sold for 1 piece of silver, just as the Lord had promised. The king appointed his officer to control the traffic at the gate, but he was knocked down and trampled to death as the people rushed out. So everything happened exactly as the man of gold had predicted. When the king came to his house, the man of God had said to the king, but this time tomorrow in the market of Samaria, 6 quarts of choice flour will cost 1 piece of silver, and the 12 quarts of barley grain will cost 1 piece of silver. The king's officers had replied, that couldn't happen, even if the Lord opened the windows of the heaven. And the man of God had said, you will see it happen with your own eyes, but you won't be able to eat any of it. And so it was for the people trampled to death at the gate. Oh my goodness. Chapter 8, 2 Kings chapter 8 in the NLT version, everybody. Thank you for liking my earrings. Eee! Thank you so much for liking my earrings. Appreciate you. Peace and love. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yes, there's 2 pairs right there. Actually, 3 pairs. 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 lows. And then I'm wearing these ones right now. Boom. Those are the ones I'm wearing. Yeah. All right, so chapter 8, 2 Kings chapter 8 in the NLT version. Let's go. Come on. Elisha had told the woman whose son he had brought back to life, "Take your family and move to some other place, for the Lord has called for a famine on Israel that will last for 7 years." So the woman did as the man of God instructed. She took her family and settled in the land of the Philistines for 7 years. After the famine ended, she returned from the land of the Philistines, and she went to see the king about getting back her house and land. As she came in, the king was talking with Gehazi, the servant of a man of God. The king had just said, "Tell me some stories about the great things Elisha has done." And Gehazi was telling the king about the time Elisha had brought a boy back to life. At that very moment, the mother of the boy walked in to make her appeal to the king about her horse or her house and land. "Look, my lord, the king," Gehazi exclaimed, "Here is a woman now, and this is her son, the very one Elisha brought back to life." "Is this true?" the king asked her, and she told him the story. So he directed one of his officials to see that everything she had lost was restored to her, including the value of any crops that had been harvested during her absence. Hazael murders Ben-Hadad. Elisha went to the Damascus, the capital of Aram, where King Ben-Hadad lay sick. When someone told the king that the man of God had come, the king said to Hazael, "Take a gift to the man of God, then tell him to ask the Lord, 'Will I recover from this illness?'" So Hazael loaded down 40 camels with the finest products of Damascus as a gift for Elisha. He went to him and said, "Your servant Ben-Hadad, the king of Aram, has sent me to ask, will I recover from this illness?" And Elisha replied, "Go and tell him you will surely recover. But actually the Lord has shown me that he will surely die." Elisha started at Hazael with a fixed gazed until Hazael became uneasy. Then the man of God started weeping. "What's the matter, my lord?" Hazael asked him. Elisha replied, "I know the trouble things you will do to the people of Israel. You will burn their fortified cities, kill their young men with the sword, dash their little children to the ground, and rip open their pregnant women." Hazael responded, how could a nobody like me ever accomplish such great things?" Elisha answered, "The Lord has shown me that you are going to be the king of Aram." She prophesied him. Oh my goodness. She prophesied him really good. Yeah, let's go. Come on, Jesus. When Hazael left Elisha and went back to the king, asked him, "What did Elisha tell you?" And Hazael replied, "He told me that you will surely recover." But the next day, Hazael took a blanket, soaked it in water, and held it over the king's face until he died. Then Hazael became the next king of Aram. Goodness gracious. Jehoram rules in Judah. Jehoram, son of King Joshua of Judah, began to rule over Judah in the 5th year of the reign of Joram, son of Ahab, king of Israel. Joram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years. But Jehoram followed the example of the kings of Israel and was as wicked as King Ahab, for he had married one of Ahab's daughters. So Jehoram did what was evil in the Lord's sight. But the Lord did not want to destroy Judah, for he had promised his servant David that his descendants would continue to rule, shining like a lamp forever. During Jehoram's reign, the Edomites revolted against Judah and crowned their own king. So Joram went with all his chariots to attack the town of Zer. The Edomites surrounded him and his chariots commanders, but he went out at night and attacked them under cover of darkness. But Jehoram's army deserted him and fled to their homes. So Edom has been independent from Judah to this day. The town of Libnah also revolted about that same time. The rest of the events in Jehoram's reign and everything he did are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Judah. When Joram died, he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. Then his son Asiah became the next king. Asiah rules in Judah. Asiah, son of Joram, began to rule over Judah in the 12th year of the reign of Joram, son of Ahab, king of Israel. Asiah was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 1 year. His mother was Athaliah, a granddaughter of King Omri of Israel. These names are really hard. Sorry, guys. Asiah followed the evil example of King Ahab's family. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight, just as Ahab's family had done, for he was related by marriage to the family of Ahab. Asiah joined Joram, son of Ahab, in his war against the king Hazael of Aram and Ramoth Gilead. When the Arameans wounded King Joram in the battle, he returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds he had received at Ramoth. Because Joram was wounded, King Asiah of Judah went to Jezreel to visit him. 2 Kings chapter 9, Jehu, anointed king of Israel. Come on, Jesus, let's go. Yes, yes, yeah. Meanwhile, Elisha, the prophet, has summoned a member of the group of prophets. Get ready to travel, he told him, and take this flask of olive oil with you. Go to Ramoth Gilead and find Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, son of Nishmi. Call him into a private room away from his friends and pour the oil over his head. Say to him, this is what the Lord says, I anoint you to be the king of over Israel. Then open the door and run for your life. So the young prophet did as he was told and went to Ramoth Gilead. When he arrived there, he found Jehu sitting around with the other army of officers. I have a message for you, commander, he said. For which one of us? Jehu asked. For you, commander, he replied. So Jehu left the others and went into the house. Then the young prophet poured the oil over Jehu's head and said, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I anoint you king over the Lord's people Israel. You are to destroy the family of Ahab, your master. In this way I will avenge the murder of my prophets and all the Lord's servants who were killed by Jezebel. Dang, that's intense, dude. The entire family of Ahab must be wiped out. I will destroy every one of his male descendants, slave and free alike, anywhere in Israel. I will destroy the family of Ahab as I destroy the families of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, and of Baasha, son of Asiah. Dogs will eat Ahab's wife Jezebel at the plot of the land in Jezreel, and no one will bury her. Then the young prophet opened the door and ran. Dang, that's crazy, dude. Jehu went back to his fellow officers, and one of them asked him, what did that madman want? Is everything all right? You know how a man like that babbles on. Jehu replied, you're hiding something. They said, tell us. So Jehu told them, he said to me, this is what the Lord says. I have anointed you to be king over Israel. Then they quickly spread out their cloaks on the bare steps and blew the ram's horn, shouting, Jehu is king. Jehu kills Joram and Asiah. So Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, son of Nishmi, led a conspiracy against King Joram. Now Joram had been with the army of Ramoth Gilead, defending Israel against the forces of King Hazael of Aram. But King Joram was wounded in the fighting and returned to Jezreel to recover from his wounds. So Jehu told the men with him, if you want me to be king, don't let anyone leave town and go to Jezreel to report what we have done. Then Jehu got into a chariot and rode to Jezreel to find King Joram, who was lying there wounded. King Asiah of Judah was there too, for he had gone to visit him. The watchman on the tower of Jezreel saw Jehu and his company approaching, so he shouted to Joram, I see a company of troops coming. Send out a rider to ask if they are coming in peace. King Joram ordered. So a horseman went out to meet Jehu and said, the king wants to show to know if you are coming in peace. Oh my goodness. Let's go, Jesus. Come on. Thank you for liking my tattoos and piercings. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes. Jehu replied. This is the 2 Kings and the NLT version. Come on, Jesus. Jehu replied, "What do you know about peace? Fall in behind me," the watchman called out to the king. "The messenger has met them, but he's not returning." So the king sent out a second horseman. He rode up to them and he said, "The king wants to know if you come in peace." Again, Jehu answered, "What do you know about peace? Fall in behind me." What the watchman exclaimed, "The messenger has met them, but he isn't returning either. It must be Jehu, son of Nishimi, for he's driving like a madman. Quick, get my chariot ready." King Joram commanded. Then King Joram of Israel and King Asa of Judah rode out in their chariots to meet Jehu. They met him at the plot of land that had belonged to Naboth of Jezreel. King Joram demanded, "Do you come in peace, Jehu?" Jehu replied, "How can there be peace as long as the idolatry and witchcraft of your mother, Jezebel, are all around us?" Oh, goodness gracious, that's crazy. Then the king Joram turned the horses around and fled, shouting to King Asa, "Tree's son Asa." But Jehu drew his bow and shot Joram between the shoulders. The arrow pierced his heart, and he sank down dead in his chariot. Jehu said to Bidkar, his officer, throw him into the plot of the land that belonged to Naboth of Jezreel. Do you remember when you and I were riding along behind his father Ahab? The Lord pronounced this message against him. "I solemnly swear that I will repay him here on this plot of the land, says the Lord, for the murder of Naboth and his sons that I saw yesterday. So throw him out on Naboth's property, just as the Lord said." When King Asa of Judah saw what was happening, he fled along the road to Beth Hagan. Jehu rode after him, shouting, "Shoot him too!" So they shot Asa in his chariot at the ascent of Gur near Ablim. He was able to go on as far as Medio, but he died there. His servants took him by chariot to Jerusalem, where they buried him with his ancestors in the city of David. Asa had become king over Judah in the 11th year of the reign of Joram, son of Ahab. Come on, Jesus. Yes, the death of Jezebel. Oh, the death of Jezebel. Oh my goodness. We break and bind her. We rebuke Jezebel in Jesus' mighty holy name. You hear any Jezebels in there listening? It's written, your death is brutal. Eaten by dogs. Ahab, so 2 Kings in the NLT version, chapter 10. Ahab had 70 sons living in the city of Samaria. So Jehu wrote letters and sent them to Samaria, to the elders and officials of the city, and to the guardians of King Ahab's sons. He said, "The king's sons are with you, and you have at your disposal chariots, horses, a fortified city, and weapons. As soon as you receive this letter, select the best qualified of your master's sons to be your king and prepare to fight for Ahab's destiny." But they were paralyzed with fear and said, "We've seen that 2 kings couldn't stand against this man. What can we do?" So the palace and city administrators, together with the elders and the guardians of the king's sons, sent this message to Jehu: "We are servants and will do anything you tell us. We will not make anyone king to do whatever you think is best." Jehu responded with his second letter: "If you are on my side and are going to obey me, bring the heads of your master's sons to me at Jezreel by this time tomorrow." Now the 70 sons of the king were being cared for by the leaders of Samaria, where they had been raised since childhood. When the letter arrived, the leaders killed all 70 of the king's sons. They placed their heads in baskets and presented them to Jehu at Jezreel. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes. A messenger went to Jehu and said, "They have brought the heads of the king's sons." So Jehu ordered Pile, them in two heaps at the entrance of the city gate and leave them there until morning. In the morning, he went out and spoke in the crowd that had gathered around them. You are not to blame, he told them. I am the one who conspired against my masters and killed him. But who killed all these? You can be sure that the messenger of the Lord was spoken concerning Ahab's family will not fail. The Lord declared through his servant Elijah that this wouldn't happen. Then Jehu killed all who were left of Ahab's relatives living in Jezreel and all his important officials, his personal friends, and his priests. So Ahab's was left without a single survivor. Then Jehu set out for Samaria. Along the way, while he was at beckoned of the shepherds, he met some relatives of King Asia of Judah. Who are you? He asked them. And they replied, we are relatives of King Asia. We are going to visit the sons of King Ahab and the sons of the queen mother. Take them alive, Jehu shouted to his men, and they captured all 42 of them and killed them at the well of Beth-eked. None of them escaped. When Jehu left there, he met Jehonadab, son of Rechab, who was coming to meet him. After they had greeted each other, Jehu said to him, are you as loyal to me as I am to you? Yes, I am, Jehoiada replied. If you are, Jehu said, then give me your hand. So Jehoiada put out his hand, and Jehu helped him into the chariot. Then Jehu said, now come with me and see how devoted I am to the Lord. So Jehoiada rode along with him. When Jehu arrived in Samaria, he killed everyone who was left there from Ahab's family, just as the Lord had promised through Elijah. Jehu kills the priest of Baal. Oh my goodness, it's getting crazy. Oh my goodness, crazy. Yes, let's go. Then Jehu called a meeting of all the people of the city and said to them, Ahab's worship of Baal was nothing compared to the way I will worship him. Therefore summon all the prophets and the worshippers of Baal and call together all his priests. So to it that every one of them comes, for I am going to offer a great sacrifice to Baal. Anyone who fails to come will be put to death. But Jehu's cunning and planning was to destroy all the worshippers of Baal. Then Jehu ordered, prepare a Solomon assembly to worship Baal. So they did. He sent messengers throughout all Israel, summoning those who worship Baal. They all came, and not a single one remained behind, and they filled the temple of Baal from one end to the other. And Jehu instructed the keeper of the wardrobe, be sure that every worshiper of Baal wears one of those robes. So the robes were given to them. Then Jehu went into the temple of Baal with Jehoiada, son of Rechab. Jehu said to the worshippers of Baal, make sure no one who worships the Lord is here, only those who worship Baal. So they were all inside the temple, offer sacrifices and burnt offerings, sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Jehu had stoned 80 of his men outside the building and had warned them, if you let anyone escape, you will pay for it with your own life. Oh my goodness, it's getting crazy. As soon as Jehu had finished sacrificing the burnt offerings, he commanded his guards and officers, go in and kill all of them. Don't let a single one escape. So they killed them all with their swords, and the guards and officers dragged their bodies outside. Then Jehu's men went into the innermost fortress of the temple of Baal. They dragged out the sacred pillar used in the worship of Baal and burnt it. They smashed the sacred pillar and wrecked the temple of Baal, converting it into a public toilet as it remains to this day. In this way, Jehu destroyed every trace of Baal worship from Israel. He did not, however, destroy the gold calves at Bethel and Dan, with which Jeroboam, son of Nabob, had caused Israel to sin. Nonetheless, the Lord said to Jehu, "You have done well in following my instructions to destroy the family of Ahab. Therefore, your descendants will be kings of Israel down to the fourth generation." But Jehu did not obey the law of the Lord, the God of Israel, with all his heart. He refused to turn from the sins that Jeroboam had led Israel to commit. Come on, Jesus, let's go. The death of Jehu. Oh my gosh. Crazy. About that time, the Lord began to cut down the size of Israel's territory. King Hazael conquered several sections of the country east of the Jordan River, including all of Gilead, Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh. He conquered the area from the town of Arier by the Aaron George to as far north as Gilead and Bashan. The rest of the events in Jehu's reign, everything he did and all his achievements are recorded in the book of the history of the king of Israel. When Jehu died, he was buried in Samaria. Then his son Jehoshaphat became the next king, and all Jehu reigned over Israel from Samaria for 28 years. Oh my goodness. For 28 years. Crazy, huh? Come on, Jesus, let's go. Yeah. All right, the Second Kings, chapter 11 in the NLT version. Come on, Jesus, let's go. When Athaliah, sorry, I can't read. The names are crazy. They're hard to read, these names, but I'm trying. Let's go. The mother of King Ahaziah of Judah learned that her son was dead. She began to destroy the rest of the royal family, but Ahaziah's sisters, Jehoshaphat, the daughter of King Jehoram, took Elisha's infant son Joash and stole him away from among the rest of the king's children who were about to be killed. She put Joash and his nurse in a bedroom, and they hid him from Alethea, so the child was not murdered. Joash remained hidden in the temple of the Lord for 6 years. Dang. While Alethea ruled over the land. Revolt against Athaliah. Let's go. Let's go, Jesus. Let's go. Yes. We're getting it. In the 17th year of Elisha's reign, Jehoiada the priest summoned the commanders, the Karai, the Maronites, and the palace guards to come to the temple of the Lord. He made a solemn pact with them and made them swear an oath of loyalty. They're in the Lord's temple. Then he showed them the king's son. Jehoiada told them, "This is what you must do. The third of you who are on duty on the Sabbath are to guard the royal palace itself. Another third of you are to stand guard at the Sur Gate, and the final third must stand guard behind the palace guard. These three groups will all guard the palace. The other two units who are off duty on the Sabbath must stand guard for the king at the Lord's temple. Form a bodyguard around the king and king where your weapons in hand. Kill anyone who tries to break through. Stay with the king wherever he goes." So the commanders did everything as Jehoiada, the priests, ordered. The commanders took charge of the men reporting for duty that Sabbath as well as those who were going off duty. They brought them all to Jehoiada, the priest, and he supplied them with the spears and small shields that had once belonged to King David and were stored in the temple of the Lord. The palace guards sustained themselves around the king with their weapons ready. They formed a line from the south side of the temple around the north side and all around the altar. Then Jehoiada brought out Joshua, the king's sons, placed the crown on his head, and presented him with a copy of God's laws. They anointed him and proclaimed him king, and everyone clapped their hands and shouted, "Long live the king." Come on, Jesus, let's go. Long live the king. The death of Athaliah. I can't even say it. It's hard to say that word. The names are crazy, man. When Alethea heard the noise made by the palace guards and the people, she hurried to the Lord's temple to see what was happening. When she arrived, she saw the newly crowned king standing in the palace of the authority by the pillars, as was the customs at the times of the coronation. The commanders and trumpeters were surrounding him, and people from all over the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. When Alethea saw all this, she tore her clothes in despair and shouted, "Treason! Treason!" Then Jehoiada, the priest, ordered the commanders who were in charge of the troops, "Take her to the soldiers in front of the temple and kill anyone who tries to rescue her." For the priest had said she must not be killed in the temple of the Lord. So they seized her and led her out to the gate where horses entered palace grounds, and she was killed there. Jehoshaphat's religious reforms. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people that they would be Lord's people. He also made a covenant between the king and the people, and all the people of the land went over the temple of Baal and tore it down. They demolished the altars and smashed the idols to pieces. That's right. You don't worship any other God but the only one. The I am the Alpha and the Omega, the Almighty. Yes, come on. The idols to pieces, and they killed Mathan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars. Jehoiada, the priest, sustained guards at the temple of the Lord. Then the commanders, the chariot, uh, mercenaries, the palace guards, and all the people of the land escorted the king from the temple of the Lord. They went through the gates of the guards and into the palace, and the king took his seat on the royal throne. So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was peaceful because Alethea had been killed at the king's palace. Joash was 7 years old when he became king. Let's go, Jesus. 2 Kings chapter 12 in the NLT version. Let's go, Jesus. We're getting there, guys. This is Joash repairs the temple. That's what this is. Joash, I don't even know how to say it, began to rule over Judah. In the 7th year of King Jehu's reign in Israel, he reigned in Jerusalem 40 years. His mother was Zebiah from Beersheba. All his life, Joash did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, because Jehoiada, the priest, instructed him. Yet even so, he did not destroy the pagan shrines. And the people still offered sacrifices and burnt incense there. One day, King Joash said to the priests, "Collect all the money brought as a sacred offering to the Lord's temple, whether it is a regular assignment, a payment of vows, or a voluntary gift. Let the priest take some of that money to pay for whatever repairs are needed at the temple." But by the 23rd year of Joash's reign, the priest still had not repaired the temple. So King Joash called for Jehoiada and the other priests and asked them, "Why haven't you repaired the temple? Don't use any more money for your own needs. From now on, it must all be spent on temple repairs." So the priests agreed not to accept any more money from the people, and they also agreed to let others take responsibility for repairing the temple. Yes. Come on, Jesus. Yeah. Then Jehoiada the priest bored a hole in the lid of the large chest and set it on the right-hand side of the altar. At the entrance of the temple of the Lord, the priest guarding the entrance put all of the people's contributions into the chest. Whenever the chest became full, the court secretary and the high priest counted the money that had been brought to the Lord's temple and put it into bags. Then they gave the money to the construction supervisor, who used it to pay the people working on the Lord's temple, the carpenters, the builders, the masons, and the stone cutters. They also used the money to buy the timber and the finished stone needed for repairing the Lord's temple, and they paid any other expenses related to the temple's restoration. Come on, Jesus. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Thank you for being on here. Appreciate it. Yeah. What's up? What up? Yeah. All right, we're almost done here. We're almost done. The money brought to the temple was not used for making silver bowls, lamps, snuffers, basins, trumpets, or other articles of gold or silver for the temple of the Lord. It was paid to the workmen who used it for the temple repairs. No accounting of this money was required from the construction supervisors because they were honest and trustworthy men. However, the money that was contributed for guilt offerings and sin offerings was not brought into the Lord's temple. It was given to the priests for their own use. The end of Joseph's reign. About this time, King Hazael of Aram went to war against Gath and captured it. Then he turned to attack Jerusalem. King of Joseph's collect all the sacred objects that Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, and the Ishiah, the previous kings of Judah, had detected, along with what he himself had detected. He sent them all to Hazael, along with all the gold in the treasuries of the Lord's temple and the royal palace. So Hazael called off his attack on Jerusalem. The rest of the events in Joseph's reign and everything he did are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Judah. Joseph's officers plotted against him and assassinated him at Beth Millo. On the road to Silla, the assassins were Josachar, son of Shemeth, and Jehoshaphat, son of Somar. Both trusted advisors. Joshua was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. Then his son Eshmiah became the next king. My goodness, it's crazy. My goodness. We're at 2 Kings, chapter 13, an NLT version. Come on, Jesus. Come on, Jesus. Well, let me help you, Jay. I'll just block you so you can never be on here again. See you later, buddy. NLT is just a different version of the Bible. That's, yeah. Come on, Jesus. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, so it's 2 Kings chapter 13 in the NLT version. Jehoshaphat rules in Israel. Jehoshaphat, son of Judah, began to rule over Israel in the 23rd year of King Joseph's reign in Judah. He reigned in Samaria 17 years, but he did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He followed the example of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, continuing the sins that Jeroboam had led Israel to commit. So the Lord was very angry with Israel, and he allowed King Hazael of Aram and his son Ben-Hadad to defeat them repeatedly. Then Jehoshaphat prayed for the Lord's help, and the Lord heard his prayer, for he could see how severely the king of Aram was oppressing Israel. So the Lord provided someone to rescue the Israelites from the tyranny of the Arameans. Then Israel lived in safety again as they had in former days. But they continued to sin, following the evil example of Jeroboam. They also allowed Israel, Pol, and Samaria to remain standing. Finally, Jehoshaphat's army was reduced to 50 charioteers, 10 chariots, and 10,000 foot soldiers. The king of Aram had killed the others, trampling them like dust under his feet. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The rest of the events in Jehu's reign, everything he did, and the extent of his power are recorded in the book of the history of the king of Israel. When Jehoshaphat died, he was buried in Samaria. Then his son, hello, baby. Want to say hi to everybody? Want to say hi? Oh, dang. Yo, oh, yeah, in a second. Say hi to everybody. My wife's here, everybody. Hello. Say hi. Say hi. Eee. Ah. 300 people. Hello, everybody. On back. I love you. Thank you, babe. Jehu's rules in Israel. The rest of the events in Jehu's reign and everything he did, including the extent of his power and his war with King Eshmiah of Judah, are recorded in the book of history of the kings of Israel. And Jehoshaphat did, he was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Then his son Jeroboam too became the next king. Elisha's finally prophecy. When Elijah was in his last illness, King Jehoshaphat of Israel visited him and wept over him. My father, I see the chariots and charioteers of Israel, he cried. Elisha told him, get a bow and some arrows. And the king did as he was told. Elisha told him, put your hand on the bow. And Elisha laid his own hands on the king's hands. Then he commanded, open that eastern window. And he opened it. Then he said, shoot. So he shot an arrow. Elisha proclaimed, this is the Lord's arrow. And on arrow of victory over Aram, for you will completely conquer the Arameans Apec. Then he said, now pick up the other arrows and strike them against the ground. So the king picked them up and struck the ground 3 times. But the man of God was angry with him. You should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. He exclaimed, then you would have beaten Aram until it was entirely destroyed. Now you will be victorious only 3 times. Then Elisha died and was buried. Groups of Moabite raiders used to invade the land each spring. Once when some Israelites were burying a man, they spied a band of these raiders. So they hastily threw the corpse into the tomb of Elisha and fled. But as soon as the body touched Elisha's bones, the dead man revived and jumped to his feet. King Hazael of Aram had oppressed Israel during the entire reign of King Jehoshaphat. But the Lord was gracious and merciful to the people of Israel, and they were not totally destroyed. He pitied them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go live on TikTok now. I just want to go live on YouTube for at least an hour. My TikTok is Richie the Barber, or like Pastor Richie the Barber. Is it Pastor Richie the Barber, baby? My TikTok? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pastor Richie the Barber on TikTok. I'm going live. So if you guys want to go on there, go right now. All right? Peace. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Check it out. Love you guys. Later.